Hey everybody, NXT just went off the air, and when it goes off the air, Unpopular Review goes on the air. And with NXT going off the air, you gotta have your trio to talk about it. Giulia returned. We had Oba and Co taking on Dark State, and there's so much of the other things to talk about. Let's take down the mantle, take down the graphic. I'm one of your hosts, the Great Grand Slam Pooba. I'm joined with, as always, on Tuesday night, I said spectacular. I'm sorry. I mixed all my ass up. The sensational Sabrina, Estella, and Frecklesensei trio. My lovely people, how the heck are you guys?
Well, I'm definitely more energetic than I was on Sunday, where at least I get to watch a wrestling company that treats their black people like winners and champions, unlike a certain company that keeps not only burning down a particular black man's house, but he just can never get his belt back. But anyway.
You also should have mentioned that they only care about them once every 12 months. So, but I am doing fine as well, and been going to some wrestling, watching some wrestling throughout this weekend. Got to go to a show in Miami where I got to see 4 of the WWE ID guys have a tag match, so that was fun. It's Gall, Jackson Drake, Cappuccino Jones, and Jack Cartwheel is who I saw at that show, alongside with one returning back to the company, Mr. AJ Francis, the newest Reality of Wrestling champion who is taking that belt to TNA with First Class. And the shirt that I am wearing, that I customized on the sleeves, the only one, and the bottom, is from a wrestler friend of mine who just became the heavyweight champion of the company that they work at over in Michigan, the Missile Dropkick Wrestling Association. So congratulations to one Mr. Danny Blaze.
Congratulations, sir.
Congrats.
I have no
that's what it looks like.
I have no wrestling shirt, but I wanted to just say real quick, I have no wrestling shirt on. Great job, Sabrina Estella, because she has followed the I don't think it's the word is the mission. I can't think of what the word is here, but I was not going to be out-sonic by Freckles. I saw Freckles with his nice Sonic shirt, and I said that looked great. But let me tell you, when it comes to Sonic shirt, you are talking to a god. So I'm sorry that you just got outclassed, and I got this from Michaels, and I just wanted to throw that out there.
But I got the classic video game one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got it even has how many rings he just already got, which is 100. And then on the other side, it says 1991. So
I have a Sonic shirt that says 1991.
No, but I'm saying the shirt you got on right now. Like I'm beating the shirt. Jack, which Sonic shirt is better tonight?
Clearly mine. I mean, look, Freckles. God bless you for trying. God bless you. You're doing the best that you can. I know you're trying to stand up for yourself, and right now it's just not working for you. Love the Raiders hat. No, all right. Look, and George is trying to do something nice. He says Sonic the Hedgehog is the best of all time. Absolutely.
I just like the blue for you too because of Sonic. So
see, I love that. See, I honestly should have been more prepared because I think I have a Sonic cup, but I'm having a Pac-Man mug. Fantastic. 5 Below. There we go. Bad Guy Jack shirt. Come on. See, George is trying to be the good noodle now. Look at that. Me and George, we're gonna have an MTV2 series eventually. It's gonna be me, him, and Freckles. Not Freckles the cat. I'm sorry. Maybe you can have a cat. I don't know. Freckles the cat. That sounds like a great thing. Let's go for it.
Alongside this chaos that we had starting the show, we had some chaos starting NXT today. So we start off with Stephanie being interviewed backstage, and she says she's going to give us her decision on who she wants to challenge her at Stand and Deliver after the first match of the night that we had, which I'm just going to say this. Yesterday, women's wrestling fans lost because we only had one women's match. But tonight we got more than one, so NXT won for that, for us women's wrestling fans tonight. So we had Stephanie on commentary watching Jordan Grace versus Miss Parker, because that's how they were chanting. Everybody still loves Miss Jade over there. And these two,
I know why they did that too. It's just that's wild. Like, it's still wild to me to think about it because that was a song from from Lil Wayne, and yeah.
Listen, they can reference Lil Wayne. Last week they referenced Outkast with Jada with Jakar Jackson. So
yes,
but
yes.
This match was very entertaining. They both had fantastic chemistry working together. And
Absolutely.
I enjoyed watching them go back and forth. Of course, the commentators were asking Stephanie some questions here and there, although Vic was trying to get Stephanie to make her decision a little faster of who she wants for Stand and Deliver. And she's like, the match is not over yet. I will tell my decision then. Please wait. But match was very, very good. We got "This Is Awesome" chants from the crowd, which, as we all know, they don't pipe none of that. The crowd is the same every time they do shows there at the Performance Center. Most of the people there go regularly, so they're very invested, so they pay attention. And the match ends because when Jordan and Jada get out of the ring and they fight each other a bit outside, Jada gets backed up into Stephanie, which they start fighting and hitting each other. And then Stephanie actually hits Jordan. Then they all start fighting. Bell rings. Match ends. No winner. So ref calls it a draw, basically. Then as it's ending, Giulia makes her return. And she helps out her best friend in the world and takes care of Jordan and Jada with her until they bump into each other. She almost looked like she's holding her head and saying sorry, like a la Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels with the "I love you" before the sweet chin music. She headbutts her and then kicks her ass down to the ground, turning heel, with how some people were a little confused, but Giulia turned heel and wants her belt back.
I don't even think it's really a heel turn. I just think she just wants her championship back.
Yeah, she's just desperate.
Yeah, I think that this segment did what it needed to do, where getting contenders for Stephanie, and I thought it did its jobs very well. We bring back in Giulia, who's been out for 2-3 weeks. She's back in the mix, and I mean, just plain and simple, it was effective and did what it had to do for the story and for us to get to Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, I agree. It did the same. It had the same energy to me. I was happy when Giulia showed up. I was like, oh, where you been? But I say the same thing. I feel like WWE has this formula now that they want to give almost everything, and any brand is getting some type of triple threats.
Yeah,
especially so. Like I feel like it's not even WrestleMania season anymore. It's like triple threat season. Because everybody on every show almost about to have a freaking triple
or
threat.
as how our lovely executive consultant said in our group chat, the multi-match season, the multi-man match season is what it is.
It is given that though. It is
because I definitely like I said to George. Yes, I want Jada Parker. I want Jada Parker to get as much time as she can because I know eventually she's gonna be moving somewhere. I'm not gonna confirm that she'll move to WWE. She could go, she may go to TNA. They still got that partnership, and because I at this point I don't see Jada getting the title, but I like seeing her in the picture, just like some others that's on the roster that we just seen. I want to see them in the picture, but not per se them taking the title.
I want to just say real quick, I want to highlight Fernando right here. Shout out to him. Thank you for being in the chat. I do agree that there is way too many multi-people matches. Like, I mean, just to the point
I missed one-on-one.
It's like it's overdone. I don't mind like maybe 1 or 2 matches, but it seems like every match has some kind of like 5-6 people. I mean, like it's starting to look like a game of Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, and it's getting kind of wild for me. You were talking about Jada Parker. I wanted to comment a little bit on that as well. I think that she fits in the NXT championship picture. I don't see her winning, but I sit here and say anytime you put her in a championship position, she has never looked out of place. She's always looked like this is what. Will you stop? He always just seemed like he was. Oh, she's always in the right place. My cat's a fool. Like, you can't eat this. Stop, please. You're embarrassing me. But yeah, she's fine.
It's a strange. She want to play.
You know, real quick. I always have to tell a story with my cat. I bought these little mouse things for him to play with. You know what he wanted to play with? I had a random fireball nip on the floor, and he played with it. And I said, "That's not a toy, and don't you ever embarrass me like that ever again." So yes, my cat, I think, is definitely it's I don't know what's going on here, but carry on.
Most cats are like that. You buy them toys and they prefer to play with the box.
I'm playing with the scratch. You know that scratch board? I'm playing with it.
You know what's crazy? So I like to do this thing where I go on Bleacher Report to see what they say about the results of each match. You know what they said about Booker T?
Oh Lord, what?
I'm not even on my website, so go ahead.
Booker T is such a weird commentator. He has so much experience he could bring to the table, but he chooses to focus on weird catchphrases instead of making valuable observations as often as he.
Who said this?
Bleacher Report.
Well, maybe they should chill with the bleach. I don't know. Like, for me, honestly, Booker T cracks me up. I don't know what to tell people when Booker T is on commentary. I remember a thing where he had interviewed. I think it was like last week, and he had to say like, "Yeah, no, Charmaine knows when I'm commentating." Yeah. And he said, "Don't worry, I'm not sleeping on the couch." Like, please, let's. I don't know.
Of course not. I mean, this is like, I don't get the hate for that, because one, even when Charmel was in on the gimmicks when it came to him being King Booker. Yeah. With her and him being King Booker, I mean, shoot, she took freaking hits. She took bumps for this man. She knows the gimmick. She knows this is a game. She knows that it's just him being a character. Because I really don't get why people don't really think that the commentators are also different characters. They are playing, you know, they're not like for example, Corey Graves is not like who he is on camera 24/7. Maybe 12/7, but 24/7. No. Michael Cole, you could tell that's just him being him in that element. It's him being being a persona, a character. But outside of that, not really. He's more a little reserved, calm. And Booker T is what he is. He's the catchphrase king. He was the catchphrase king before. Five time. Of course.
Five time. You forgot to do it 3 more times. But anyway,
I forgot.
I wanted to. I was going to say Steve.
We were running out of time, so I couldn't.
Yes. Please.
I mean, you could have said it fairly quickly, but after all that insanity, we had Hank and Tank backstage. They're chatting about with Fraxium, what happened, about how Axiom was trying to hype them up a bit. Nathan was being a little harsh, but Hank understood where he was coming from, and they're trying to figure out what they can learn from them. When we see the team version of A-Town Down Under and Swipe Rights come in, introduce themselves as a successful tag team who can give them some advice after they beat Fraxium tonight. And I'm just thinking to myself, why the hell of all the people from Evolve did they have to bring these two in? Which means they're doing their damn job. And then they leave Hank and Tank, and they think to themselves, are we that desperate? Even they're like, no. And if Corey Graves cannot stand people and their characters, someone who particularly loves the heel characters and has always stood up for them every single time, that's how you know that even Corey Graves can't stand your ass when he's talking that talk.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. These two look like they would give me a freaking headache the way that they talk when they say, "Bro, this, bro, that, swipe this, swipe that."
You already gave me a freaking headache.
It's that Gen Z talk.
Oh yeah, no, totally. And like, and when I hear Gen Z, it just
I
makes
hate saying it. And I hate saying it. You know what I'm saying? I hate saying it like that, where it makes me sound like, you know, one of them old people that be like, "Get off my lawn" back in my day. But it is a different type of talk. It's a different type of language.
Of slang. It's a different type of slang. And anytime I hear some of the slang that's used now, I feel old and I feel like, what the hell am I hearing? Why does it mean that? Or why do they say that?
Like, I understand. And for me, it's like I understand it, but then I'm still like, that's still dumb. I know what you're saying, but it's dumb.
It is.
I do want to say though, this match. So this was my first introduction. I don't watch Evolve, so this was my first introduction to Swipe Right. And honestly, like Sabrina was mentioning, she was mentioning how like they're annoying. I think they did their job very well because I wanted to see these young kids get I wanted to see these young kids get punched in the face. I wanted them to get taken out. Because I mean, and thank you.
We did.
And I love all that because you know anytime I see some of these young kids and they swear they know stuff and I'd be like, oh please, you can smell the breast milk in your breath, please. You know nothing. So I was really rooting for and actually Fraxum is just fantastic anyway. So I just thought like it was a great introduction to this team, and I thought they were quite entertaining for the little time that I got to see them.
Well, I mean, it was very fun watching Fraxium jump out and jump on one each, not just once, but to do it twice. I enjoyed that very much. And I knew damn well 2 seconds into it that Swipe Right was going to get their opportunity, swipe left, and they were not going to get those belts.
I just hate the name.
Yeah, the name is very the name is very.
If they debuted maybe a few years back when dating apps were like becoming super popular, then I would understand it and it'd be a little more like not so cringy. The name's just super cringy.
But you know, I think that's what they're trying to go for.
The name was just cringy. I feel like the name was just going to be cringy no matter what. Like the name, there's no way if they go to the main roster, they keeping this name. Triple H is not finna keep this name.
Oh, maybe they do. Who knows? I mean, look at.
I don't think they
are Brad Taylor and Ricky Smokes. Like,
and it's so funny because I'm actually watching one of their Evolve matches right now just to see like how good they really are. Because we saw them against Fraxon, but it's freaking Fraxon. Like, come on now.
But even still, I think that's to give them props that they could stand toe to toe with your tag team champions. There's a lot of people where there's a lot of pressure. They don't know how to manage, and I thought they did a really good job managing this. So, like, yes,
they look good. They look good on this. Like, they got like the highlights. Of, like, I forget. I'm trying to see which actual match it is. It's the. So this one is the Swipe Right versus Miracle Generation.
That's a long ass name.
Right, Miracle Generation. Yeah. Like what? These names. And this happened like 6 days ago. But they look polished. They look just looking at some of these clips. Mm-hmm. They look polished.
I mean, and also go ahead. I'm sorry, please.
But I was saying I like their wrestling. I just hate their voices and their name. Like if they can just do something.
I don't think there's much you could do with your voice. I don't think.
You mean besides give them a manager that does all the talking for them, so we don't.
You could do it. I mean, you could do
that. You could. I mean, that's not a bad idea.
Just give them.
I love Freckles. Like, yeah, they're good, but their voices. So what do you want to do? Get a balloon and go? Hi guys, I'm Swipe Right. Like, what are we going to do? There's nothing you can do with your.
Or damn it, AEW had a puppet. And it was insanity.
Well, that's because Harley Cameron is a ventrilo.
Yes, I told you. I wasn't going to try to help you. There you go. Sabrina cleaned that up so good. Like if my job and maintenance is actually for a cleanup, hiring for extra cleanup, you're on there because that was a good cleanup. Good job.
Well, thank you. And also Harley Cameron was 5 of my top 5 women's crushes in wrestling. But
she's a pretty girl.
I get that. They can do something with this. They can do something with their mic.
I think the future is bright though. I was just want to say
definitely.
I was going to say that future. The future is bright, and I think, and what you're going to want later on because a lot of tag teams are going to be called up, people getting older, blah, blah, blah. And these guys, I mean, what did I say? They're 20? 20, you know what I was doing at 20? Bumping into walls. So good for them on doing something. Something.
Why was you bumping into? Wait.
What?
Okay, of all pictures.
Yeah, what was happening?
What
do we have? Say is them boys' future is about as bright as them teeth because they probably got a whole bunch of whitening in them. Moving on.
No, those are strong teeth.
Yes. Anyways, we have
not stronger than Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey had the strongest teeth in the world. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't interrupt you.
But we had Fatal Influence in the locker room discussing that Ava has given them a chance to be in the ladder match to fight for the North American Championship belt. Fallon saying, "Oh, I'm going to enter this qualifying match and be in the ladder match and get my title back." JC's like, "No, you had the belt, you lost, you couldn't keep it. I'm going to do it." Then they keep going back and forth, and then Jazmyn's like, "No, time out. It's going to be me, and you two are going to be in my corner, right?" And she just walked off. And we're seeing the cracks in Fatal Influence.
Yeah, it's because the other two individuals. It's nothing to do with JC. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you know how I feel about my girl JC. I immediately was upset because I'm like, cool. Well, I always look forward to reviewing the show with you two and talking to you guys in chat. I'm talking about you, George, Christopher, Sad. We see Matt in there. We see you guys in there. George already got on my bad side. He said, "Ugh, Fatal Influence." So you definitely are bad noodle. But I was very upset that I wasn't going to see JC in action. And you know, I'm hearing Fallon. She's saying Fallon things, talking about getting this championship, and I agree with JC. You lost. Time to go to the back of the line. And I admire Jazmyn's her
initiative.
What they call yes, there we go. It's a word with an I. Her Moxley, if you will. But you know, you're not ready. No, without the blood, obviously not that Moxley. Get it together, Frederick. Jesus, I'm messing up big time today.
You mean Moxley?
I said Moxley, didn't I? It's Moxie.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, George, you don't swipe right on swipe right because that means you're saying yes. You swipe left because that means hell no. And I would know I've used dating apps, but
no, it's Mr. It's honestly Mr. Cat. It's plain and simple, Mr. Cat. No, Megatron. That's the next cat.
But I mean, as far as that segment went, I thought it was fine. I didn't think that they were going to actually have Jazmyn be the one to get in the ring and be in the qualifying match. I personally would have put JC in there myself, but that's just me.
Thank you, someone with a brain. I love that.
Listen, I've been on the Jane train since I saw them before they turned NXT into 2.0. So
you tell your man I said hello.
But we had Jazmyn Nyx versus Ruca for the qualifying match for entrant number 3. And I will say I enjoyed this match as well. But we had 3 women's matches tonight, which take notes up there, Triple H, for at least for Raw. But I mean, match was good chemistry. You had the strength of one woman that would be able to handle Fallon and Jane all by herself, which I also found funny that Jazmyn's only other gear is the same color as Zarya's hair.
You know what? I did not put 2 and 2 together with that.
Well, I noticed the small things. Fashion's just my thing.
I did not put 2 and 2
with my Macho Man Randy Savage customized style shirt for this one, since that's one of his favorites. But
one of my favorites too.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm that type of person where people don't like the fact that when I speak my own type of facts, it's not like the popular fact, because my Mount Rushmore of wrestling, Hogan's not on there at all. Macho Man is on
my Jesus.
My Mount Rushmore.
Hulk Hogan's head from Mount Rushmore that we chiseled off is fallen down into a volcano and melted.
Because I mean, think about it. Everything that Hogan did, Macho could have done the same thing. Macho could have been in charge of NWO. Macho Man could have went to TNA and not destroyed their reputation.
And on next, Soul Snatcher, Soul Ruca has stamped her entryway into the ladder match alongside her tag partner and one Miss Kaylani Jordan. So all the face spots have been filled for this ladder match.
Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on what Seth was saying. Y'all talking about Mount Rushmore. I agree. Roman, he's definitely on my Mount Rushmore when it comes to that. So yeah, I totally agree with Seth.
I will figure out my Mount Rushmore, and I will either say it now or sometime later.
Yeah, no, the match was fine. Honestly, there was something that and it threw me off because I was like, I didn't look it up, but Vic Joseph. I have a friend of mine who's staying with me, and we both agree that Vic Joseph gets on our nerves. Mine just for various different reasons.
I mean, I can't say that I can't stand the guy. I see.
Well, you can't. You know why you can't say that? Because you're sitting down. I loved all of that, but carry on. Oh, you're not gonna carry on? I'll carry on for you. But Vic, thank you. But no, there was something Vic Joseph said, and he said like, well, this was like Soul Ruca's first ladder match. I was like, was she not in the North American?
She was in it last year. She was the one that you and I both thought were going to win and become the inaugural champion.
I was there. By the time Hogan was in WCW, I started watching wrestling. Because no, Mike, no. This is my moment. Yes, I was. When Hogan's NWO reign was going on, there was a lovely video game called WCW World Revenge. I had that game on the Nintendo 64. Why? Because my dad bought me a Nintendo 64. It was one of the first video games I had besides the Super Nintendo.
And honestly, I blame Mike because he got you all worked up here and whatnot. Like, what's happening again?
Oh, you talking about the 80s? Okay, yeah. Then the 80s, yeah. Overall, I'm still not doing it. I'm sorry.
Corey, I wouldn't mind Corey. I wouldn't mind Corey. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
My bad. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Listen, the people like watching us go on tangents and rants and arguing with each other, or the people in the comments. Why do you think we have 43 people watching right now? Well, thank you very much.
And honestly, to give a shout out to you guys. I mean, a lot of you guys are on Twitter watching us, and we appreciate you guys, and we see some of you guys on YouTube. So thank you guys. We very, very, very much appreciate those. We always appreciate it. Yes. Yeah, a lot of viewers are coming from Twitter, so we appreciate that. WWE vs. NWO was a great game set. Honestly, though, I still pick World Tour. It was before that. I know it's Revenge was better. It was a better overall game, but it just holds a special place in my heart. WWE vs. NWO World Tour. So yes, that's I'm showing the age here. But what else do we got going on? Because we're having a really good time reminiscing on old N64 games.
Jesus Christ. Okay, Bleacher Report is crazy. Bleacher Report said Zarya had worse peripheral vision than most refs when she missed Emily tried to hit.
Wait, what?
Bleacher Report stated that that doing Nyx and Soul Ruca, that Zarya had worse peripheral vision than most refs when she missed Henley trying to interfere.
And this is why I use cage side seats instead of Bleacher Reports. Anyways,
it's wild.
We have Javon Evans being interviewed backstage, and he is saying that if Trick and Oba had just listened to him in the first place, then they wouldn't be in this damn mess right now, and that they can little bro him all they want, but he's dropped Oba twice, and he's going to take it step by step.
This is true.
Tonight's dark state at Stand and Deliver, the NXT Championship. That's what he's going for. Which I don't blame the boy.
I don't blame the boy. What else we got here? The segment was fine.
Well, we had Giulia being interviewed outside when she's leaving the building. She said, they ask her, what happened? Why'd you do that to your friend? What does this mean for you? And she says, Stand and Deliver, there are no friends. I want my rematch for my belt. And then we get Hank and Tank versus the Culling, which they had a little brief segment before where Sean Spears was saying, "Oh, me losing the belt. Y'all didn't do a bad job. You don't have to blame yourselves. It's not your fault. The goal of this is to get you guys the gold all along. Izzy has her chance to qualify for the ladder match, and you boys have a chance to become tag team champions." And honestly, match was fine. I had no problem with this match. Of course, it's upsetting to see Hank and Tank lose, especially with what they have going on, with them trying to figure out, because they keep listening to advice and thinking, what do the people want from us? What do we have to do to become even better team and become champions? And then we get these two winning with the Canadian backbreaker Meteora combo. And after the match is over, you see Hank and Tank standing by the crowd on the barrier asking, what are they doing wrong? What are they doing wrong? And you hear that one guy right next to them in the crowd going, you guys aren't doing anything wrong.
Yes, they are.
What are they doing wrong?
Besides losing.
They're fashion. I think if they change up
What's wrong with the fashion?
Tight shorts, the I don't even know what color these shirts are and whatnot. I think the fashion is
they're black with orange writing.
That what makes the name good.
Freckles, I know you're not trying to defend us. Freckles, would you be going outside in that kind of gear?
Hell no. But I'm not.
Thank you.
But I'm not honestly saying it's different. It's a difference.
You know what it is?
It's a little better versus being in the women's division, looking nearly identical to everybody, which sucks.
Well, they got to change it up if they want to go for these NXT tag team titles. They can't be going in this thing as losers, so they're gonna have to switch something and figure it out. But they're gonna have to figure it out.
Pretty Deadly tried to do that with them last week, and we saw how they.
Oh, don't you remind me of that? That was awful. You know how Freckles took off last week? I was, once again, I want everyone to see this. I was this close on not being here. Had they went out there with the muffin tops and whatever that gear was, I immediately sat here and said, why am I being punished? Why me? What is happening anymore? What was the cat?
Did you scare Mr. Cat?
I feel like
Mr. Cat is as Brooklyn as it get. He doesn't give a shit about anything. He just don't care. Like, no, he's not frightened of it. But why me? Why me? If they had continued to wear that. But I really don't hate Hank and Tank. I saw some George was saying they need something. He said with the future endeavors, I don't root for anyone to lose their job. I just think there's a lot of other tag teams ahead of them. Truthfully, like, do I think like they're in the conversation like top 5 tag teams in NXT? No, I don't. I think there's a bunch of other tag teams, and with the Cullen right now, they're trying to put steam. Matter of fact, I felt like something Sean Spears was saying here was actually a shoot where he says, "This is not about me. I had my time in the sun. It's about you guys," and that's why I feel about Sean Spears in this group. It's like he's there trying to get these young guys over because he's had his time, and I mean, I think we've all said it for the longest time. He was just holding that NXT North American Championship just to pass it to the next guy. So
transitional champ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
totally. So like, all I see is God no. What's happening, Mike Knox? Mike says God no.
So Matt says, and I agree.
Well, he said one day it's not going to be right now because he still needs a little time.
Yeah,
he's been champion in indie companies, but I know indie companies is different than being
give him time. He don't have to. I mean,
the face of the company,
right? I mean, look, and I think so too. I think as time goes on, and I would like to see how everything goes in a few years and everything's flushed out a little bit. But there's always a possibility of that potentially happening. Do I see it this year? No. Is it possibly in 2 years? Maybe. So yeah,
I give it next year.
Okay. Yeah, who knows? Maybe next year. By then, Oba and Trick is on the main roster. He might still be on NXT and have his time.
I think Trick's going next year. I think Trick's
speaking of those that didn't have to wait too long to become champion, we have Ricky Saints, who made his way into the ring and got on the mic. He says that the first night that he was here, he said he's coming to turn this place upside down. That the revolution would be televised, you would get an absolute superstar, and that he's a man of his word, and he's standing here with the NXT North American Championship not even 2 months into him being officially signed here. But he unfortunately has a bitter taste in his mouth from all ego Ethan Page not letting him even have 5 minutes of a celebration. But he gets it that if he had somebody come in and do what he did quicker and better, his little ego would be shattered too. And Ethan had to go and ruin that moment. But he's no punk, and he calls Ethan out to chat about it like a man. But instead, we get Lexus King. And he says he's worried about the wrong guy because he loves the gold and he would love to put a little extra. Comes in Eddie Thorpe, who congratulates Ricky and says it must have been nice to walk in and get handed opportunities while everyone else is starving, and that the North American Championship represents the land that was stolen from him, from his family, and his people. The title is his birthright. And then we get Wes Lee with Tyreek and Tyson.
That's your guy.
Yes. Who says that you can't have a conversation about the North American Championship without him, because that belt was at the peak when it was being held by him, which, if any of you remember, a top 5 and North American champions, that was my number 1. And I will say, Eddie got in a good line when Lexus was talking, telling him, oh, great, another white man who isn't happy, another greedy white man who isn't happy with what he has and has to get more.
I loved Wesley's facial expression there. It was actually really hilarious.
And then they all start fighting back and forth. Ricky says that now is not the time. And Ethan comes in to lay him out with a twisted grin, and then all of them try to get the belt, and they start fighting one another.
I love how Ethan's interesting to me, because what was his finisher before? It was like the Razor's Edge, right? Now he's like taking Matt Hardy's move. Like it's I don't know. It's just kind of comical.
Well, I mean, considering he had that thing with Matt Hardy in AEW, and we all saw how that went.
Right. Okay.
Does anybody even really remember most of that?
I don't. No, I can't say.
The only thing I remember is how much I disliked it and wish that they did not have him working with him.
For a hot minute, I forgot that he even existed on AEW.
Well, that's because everything after American Top Team for Ethan Page made him look like dog shit.
Yeah,
what do we think? What are we thinking here, guys? Do we think we're getting a one-on-one at Stand Deliver, or are we getting a multi-man match? Because honestly, the way how WWE has been lately, I'm thinking this is gonna be a multi-man.
No, I think it's gonna be a Stand Deliver.
No, I think it's gonna be a Stand Deliver. But I'm saying, do you think this is like multi-man? And I agree, George. Greatest North American champion. I totally agree. Totally concur.
Yeah, I'll probably have to agree.
Oh, yeah, no, it's easy. Matter of fact, when we did that, cheap plug, but when we did that, it was like that was my number 1, but Sabrina beat me to it. But I think Mello is an easy number 2. So, they've had some really, really great North American champion. But Wesley, I mean, the body of work that he has done with that championship, it's hard to top. Matter of fact, I would actually prefer I kind of would prefer this to be a multi-man match, because I always think about that really fun North American Championship match in 2023. It was like Wesley, Dragon Lee, Dragunov, and JD McDonough. There was one more person. I always miss.
Oh, yeah.
But that was such a great match. And that's the kind of stuff where sometimes I'm like, I don't mind a Fatal 5-Way if you have the right people in it and stuff like that. So, yeah. Adam Cole, the greatest. I think I had him on my list. I don't remember when I had him.
I put Keith Lee over Adam Cole.
Fair enough.
Well, I mean, I will say Adam Cole had some stellar matches defending his title. I mean, he's had quite a few over 5 stars with one wrestler that Mr. Executive Consultant and Mike Knox cannot stand for the life of them because he's too tiny to them.
Oh,
well, man, I ain't gonna say I can't stand him, but it just...
No, I know you probably have a different opinion, but mention the name Johnny Wrestling to Mike Knox and the executive consultant, you would think that you told him that Roman Reigns was dying.
Dang. I mean, he is. They both were, but Johnny. Actually, I do like Johnny. Like I'm
I
a
like
sucker
Johnny.
for Johnny. I always was having to defend why
I found the picture
DIY
of your
was still
list,
staying.
Ron.
Huh?
Oh,
I
nice.
found the picture of your list from the top 5 that we did.
Oh, right. What was it? Because I totally forgot.
Mello, Keith Lee, Dominic, Ricochet, and Roderick with Wildcard and Leon Ruff.
I love Leon Ruff. That was such a treat.
That was.
I was happy for that. Like I know some people get upset about little things like that. Like, why do they do that? They break a tradition. Blah 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 blah. I eat table for dinner. But like, dude, like it was just fun. Sometimes I just like fun, and fun is fine. And if you don't like fun, step outside. Let the sun hit your skin sometime. Drink water and don't listen to a Nick Cannon CD. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Just go outside. But what else do we got going on?
So wait. So you're basically one of the ones where there's like a gun to your head and name 5 Nick Cannon songs you can't name them.
I'm ready to meet my Lord and Savior.
I would also be ready to meet my Lord and Savior because I know no Nick Cannon songs whatsoever.
What? I mean, well, you got to name a Nick Cannon song. I can name Gigolo, and I hate that song.
I
can say Gigolo.
That's the only song I know of, and that's because I watch Wild 'N Out clips.
Oh, you poor soul! You poor soul! When I come down to Florida, I'm gonna give you a hug. You poor soul! I feel so bad for you. I'm really she did. Oh my God! I'm so sorry that you went through that, Sabrina, Estella. I mean, you pretty much just said like, you know, when someone said they stepped in dog shit. Like I feel like that's what you told me, and I feel so sorry for you.
No, they only mentioned that he has a song named that. They never played it or anything like that. So I don't even know what it sounds like.
Oh, bless your heart. You are one of the lucky ones. I hear that all the time and I immediately get violent. Like I remember one time hearing that in my dream and I was fighting this one macaroni and cheese noodle. And I said, why is this playing as I'm fighting this macaroni and cheese noodle? But carry on. I digress.
We digress. But anyways,
what?
We have strange dreams and we don't know how to explain it. But we have Stephanie with Ava backstage with, meanwhile, she's asking, who do you want to fight? Do you want Jordan, Jada? Stevie's like, Giulia? And Stephanie says, give me all of them. Give me all them hungry ass BITCHESs. Because I will fight all of them at Stand and Deliver, is what she's saying.
Yeah, she was a
little, you know, I like this though. You know, part of me I don't know what the original direction was and everything like that, right? But
probably would have been right at that point.
I'm laughing because we mentioned Nick Cannon. She started having the hives. I hear you, girl.
I don't get hives.
I feel like that. It's almost like when Britney Spears had Kevin Fairline. I'm pretty sure she immediately get like bumps in the back of her neck. But what was I going to get at here? You know, I like it. I mean, I know we talked a little bit about it earlier, but I like it. I mean,
but there are some matches where it's okay and it makes a little sense.
Yeah.
This one, it makes sense. It's not like one that just gets thrown together for WrestleMania and somewhat makes kind of sense, but you still don't fully understand it, like the one for the Intercontinental Championship. But anyways.
But yeah, no, I like this. I mean, you could get all these women on there. You know, once again, Jada deserved to be on there. Giulia, part of me just. I don't know. Like I sometimes think like, I think that was the match you wanted to do, Giulia and Stephanie 1-on-1 at Stand and Deliver, because that's just a big match to have there. But things change and stuff like that. Obviously I don't know, but I'm just throwing suggestions and what I think. But all these women in there, and also too, you got Jordan Grace on there, and there's no way she's not going to be on there. So
that's
I think it's pretty cool.
But we do have Trick Willie being interviewed backstage, which. He now has a new shirt, everybody. Crash out Trick.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna get that shirt.
Of course you are.
Is that an actual shirt? I thought it was like one of those. Okay, cool.
I'm hoping so because I'm gonna get it.
All right.
But anyways, we do have Trick Williams being interviewed backstage, and he says that there's always somebody getting in the way of what he wants. but that you just need to look at his resume to see that he can get it done. He's concerned about how tonight goes, and he tells Oba and Javon to bring it, but reminds them that Stand and Deliver
They got it.
gonna whoop all they asses.
Oh, nice.
They got it.
Nice.
It's out. I'm gonna show it to y'all.
Please do. Oh, all right. It's not okay. So it's an actual shirt. Because when I was looking at it, it looked like it was one of those shirts like he made for him. But yeah, no, cool, and it fits him because he has been crashing out a lot actually. But cool. What else we got? Wrestling doll.
Well, we had the match that Yoshiki wanted after waiting a week because Wesley didn't want to give him the match right away.
Mm-hmm.
But we have Inamura versus Wesley.
Cool.
And match was pretty good. And I had no qualms with it. You saw Tyson and Tariq trying to stop Inamura, stop his flow. And then you have Briggs trying to stop them and make sure that Inamura's flow doesn't get interrupted. But unfortunately, at the end, when he tries to pull down, I can't remember which one of them because not because of like or anything, but I just didn't see who was wearing what, so I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly. I think they said it was Tyreek that might have been trying to pull on the ropes to make sure that Inamura would fall down. But when Briggs pulled him down, he pulled it anyways, causing him to fall. And then with the cardiac kick, Wesley takes the win.
Yeah.
I mean, I think paint by number stuff. I mean, Wesley, he's going to be in his I was going to say he's going to be in that fatal 4-way, so he had to get the win. I just want to say, what's this gentleman's name with Briggs? I'm sorry, I'm terrible at names.
Yoshiki Inamura.
Inamura. Okay, Inamura. His music, it gives us throwback to like WCW Saturday night. Like Saturday night. I was gonna say main event, but just Saturday night because it's like that old school. Like I don't know what kind of music to describe it, but when I was hearing it, I was like, "Yo, this is some kind of thing I would have heard in the '90s back in the day." Like when I was going to see Jerry Lynn going against I don't know Ernest the Cat Miller and stuff like that. So I thought that was funny. Yeah, but it was fine. I mean, it did what it had to do. I mean, once again, Wesley was going in for the match, and he'll be fine. No, so yeah, it was fine.
Well, Frecklesensei takes care of whatever he's taking care of.
Mm-hmm. Real quick. I mean, I know we haven't done one in a minute, so we see you guys in the chat. Why don't we play a quick commercial? Recharge a little bit. Shout out to you, Sabrina, Estella. You're doing a fantastic job doing the rundown here. But let's play a commercial because I gotta do something. He's back. He is back, so we're gonna play a commercial, and we'll be right back after these lovely, lovely commercial.
Money. But Ricochet behind the scenes, somebody interviewing, he's total dog shit. With nobody interviewing, he's total dog shit. With him in the ring, he's total dog shit on the microphone. Like he's just dog shit when he's talking. I'm pretty sure he probably is dog shit, dirty talking to Samantha Irvin in bed. I'm pretty sure he's just dog shit altogether. Just opening his mouth. That's all. I agree. He's annoying at this point. He
is. The fact that he thinks he can outtalk the Miz is just. I'm sorry I have to bring that up, but this is like the biggest thing on my mind for tonight's episode. The thing that he thinks he can outtalk the Miz is just crazy.
I guess the best part about it is that Brian Cage goes, who dies? Everybody. Who better? Nobody. I was like, damn, that's kind of catchy. I like that shit. And then walk out. I'm like, oh shit, this shit just got good. And then you guys leave. I was like, okay.
It's God, man.
Read these names, and I'm just going to say the names off, and you just tell me if any one of these sounds like valuable opponents. Preston Vance, Jack Jameson, and fucking Griff Garrison. I didn't even know this was a stable. They're called the Frat House. I didn't even know that was a stable. I swear, I watch wrestling every week, and I didn't know that it was a stable.
They have a stable named the Frat House. What the hell? God, it's just Oh my god. Okay. I can't. Sometimes with Tony Khan, I just can't understand the man's decision making. I just don't understand it.
That was
Nobody has
that
been
was
able
the
to
gentleman.
understand.
That was a
Sorry,
lot.
go ahead.
That was a lot.
I was gonna say those are the gentlemen from the Collision show. You can check them out right after Collision on Saturdays. Z's doing a double duty on Saturdays because he does the SmackDown Penitentiary, and Matt does he does it with Vic, and then you have Matt and him doing Collision. So shout out to those gentlemen, and please check them out. This is the NXT review show. Hi. We're gonna do some plugs later on, but what else do we have here? One Sabrina, Estella.
Well, we had Oba cutting a promo on Dark Stage backstage, talking about how he ain't scared of them, that they ain't hot shit, and that he's gonna take care of them before he turns his back onto Javon and Trick, who's going to suffer the same fates as Stand and Deliver like they're supposed to suffer tonight, which is being defeated at the hands of Oba Femi. Which, seeing how y'all are getting along, is not going to happen.
Oh, absolutely not.
What else we got?
Well, we also had the third NXT Women's North American Champion qualifying match with Izzy Dame, and I was wondering who's her opponent going to be. And then I saw that it was Ren Sinclair. And listen, everybody knows how much I love Ren Sinclair. I've been hyping her up since she started. I've been watching her work when I saw her on AEW Dark for a bit. Then I saw her in NWA. And then I saw some more of her indie stuff online. And then when she got signed, I've been hyping her up. But I saw that I was like, there is no way that she's going to win. Also based on the little promo that they had earlier with the culling. Match was good. Ren knows how to make her opponents look good. Izzy Dame's gotten better. I still don't care for her wrestler or character-wise or promo-wise or anything-wise in that sense. But with the Liger Bomb, she takes down Ren Sinclair and wins spot number 4 for the ladder match for the Women's North American Championship at Stand and Deliver.
I saw this. I didn't see it live. I was moving around a little bit. But I watched on Twitter. So there was a thing where Izzy, when she does the pin, but she broke it a little too early. So it was like when I heard 2, she broke it. So I thought that was the only. It seemed like that was the only blemish in this match. But I'm
to practice.
But I'm with you. I was rooting for Ren Sinclair. Like I was like, oh, it would be so cool if we get her in that match. But tonight's episode was heavy on the Cullen, and they wanted to make the Cullen like really look dominant and stuff like that. So I should have known Izzy was going, but I really was going for Ren.
I mean, I already knew that Izzy was going to win, but it wasn't because I wanted her to win. It was just because of the promo. That's the only reason why. Everybody knows I don't care for Izzy. She bores the ever living hell out of me.
Yeah, it's not me seeing
really a real life version of create a wrestler.
She's not the most charismatic wrestler, but I did like the fact that the fans was behind Sinclair. Always argue
behind Ren. Always.
I always argue that we have the best fans out of like basically besides TNA, out of all the like all of our brands. Besides TNA and New Japan, NXT has the best fans.
No, I can concur to that. If you go to an NXT show, I was just telling a friend of mine, I still think, shout out to EC because he says like the best wrestling show he think all year so far anyway is the Madison Square Garden show that NXT had. And I went to that show and going there, I mean, they were already doing Hulk Hogan Becoming From You, but the show's over. And as we're all walking, a bunch of New Yorkers sitting there singing this. It was just a fun vibe when you're around an NXT crowd because it's just it's a fun vibe when you are with an NXT crowd. Sorry.
And as someone who has gone to the Performance Center for NXT many a time, especially during the premiere of NXT 2.0, it is definitely a fun time. It's a good time to go, and plus tickets are free. So it spoiled me from ever wanting to go to a house show that they have because why pay for a show when I've already gone? That's a good one, George. Ren NXT. I like that.
That's creative. That's one of George's best. Who taught you that, George? You didn't do that
I am
yourself.
upset I didn't think of that one sooner. Should Izzy be future endeavor? I feel they put her with Sean Spears to help her improve so that she doesn't have that be her future. But if she doesn't improve in the sense of making sure that she doesn't mess up in the ring, like with the counts, or improves on her promo work, then it might happen in the future. But even if I don't like somebody character-wise or in-ring wise, these people are living their dreams, and I would never want to see them lose out on it. There are some that I'm okay with them being like, because it wasn't what they wanted, like Lacey Evans, who had said, yes, I was doing it for 7 years, but this wasn't my dream. Or when we found from Samantha Irving that being in-ring announcer wasn't her dream, but she made the best of it. And she became known as, for a lot of people, one of the greatest.
I don't remember the last time. George is asking the heavy-hitting question. What was the last time Izzy Dame cut a promo? I want to say it was a little bit before. It was either that one. No, I think it was something before she even joined the Cullen. So I'm going to go with that.
Don't ask me. I don't remember because, as everybody knows, she bores the hell out of me. But speaking of girls that don't bore the hell out of me, we have the Meta Girls, Roxanne Perez, and Fatal Influence backstage talking with Ava Raine about seeing if there is a last chance qualifier match. But Ava says that this year, that's not the case. And
Ava?
She says she has an idea. She doesn't tell us what it is. But Roxanne is like, oh, I hope it's not a tag match because I don't have a partner. I don't have a tag match. I don't have a tag team partner or anything like that. And all the other girls are at her going like, it sucks to suck. It sucks to be you, right?
Yeah.
She pushed herself away from everybody in that locker room, and she pushed herself away from her one and only friend that she had after being heel. After you trying to bring down Cora Jade, after you saying, oh, Cora ain't my friend.
Listen, they better just do the right thing next week. That's all I'm going to say. Because I don't know.
We just going to find out what it is. I have a feeling
when did Ava become the Riddler? Like, what is this thing? Just tell us right now. Why are we waiting a whole damn week? Listen, Ava.
You have to keep selling and promoting.
You have to keep some type of suspense.
It's a drama. It's still drama at the end of the day.
Wrestling is
all about storyline.
Oh,
it's storyline. It's like watching a soap opera.
Wrestling is all about storyline.
Don't you sit here and lecture me about wrestling. I wrote the book on wrestling. How dare you?
Anyways,
yes,
after the commercial break, we have
that's terrible.
Kale Dixon and Uriah Connors watching tapes of themselves from previous matches they've had, and Andre Chase walks in on them, and they're second guessing themselves as they're watching it, and he offers some advice, and they convince him to give him help as they chat for a bit, and the camera shifts to Hank and Tank. They're upset at the loss, and they're feeling down, thinking, what should we do? What do we have to do? We've been getting all this advice from everybody, from Pretty Deadly, from the Motor City Machine Guns, from all these teams. And then the recently crowned tag champions and the Street Profits coming to give a pep talk saying what I've been wanting to say. You're spending too much time trying to be like other teams when y'all just need to be yourselves, because that's what the crowd loves. That's what they get. That's what gets them behind you, to be yourselves, to just focus on doing what works with you two and use that to move yourselves up in the ranks and maybe get a win and maybe potentially challenge Infraxium for those belts. And Ava says that next week there's a gauntlet match to determine Fraxium's challengers at Stand and Deliver. So it's time for you to lock in.
Basically, in other words.
This is looking like a giveaway.
I mean, It could be, and I'm fine with that. And then we have our main event with Javon, Trick, and Oba versus Darkstick. Oh. And Javon comes out first. The music plays for like 5 seconds, and then Trick's music cuts it off, and then Trick comes out. Booker T is getting into it, and then 5 seconds later, Oba's music comes on, and then we all hear that that Booker T's upset, and then they keep going because since Oba's music was the last to play, his is the one that's going to keep going. And then we have Dark State coming in, music plays. They're all dressed, ready to wrestle, and they all go in and attack all three of them. So we try to figure out which one of them which three is going to be in there. So we get Cutler James, Dion Lennox, and Saquon Shugars being the three that's going to fight them.
Oh my God, that last name is horrendous.
Listen, Creed is the one that decided to give them the name Shugars, okay?
Sugar! Sugar!
I don't know what else to tell you about that one.
Sugar. I don't know. It's some 60 something.
Yeah,
there we go. I feel like the guy from Archie sings that damn song. Oh no, I'm gonna ask Mike because I'm sure Mike
cover that song. Yes,
it is Archie. It's Archie and Meathead, right? Or what's his name? Jughead. That is So that's a hell of a name. Why was he named Jughead? Does he drink? What was his problem?
No. Listen, as someone who grew up reading Archie comics since she was 10 years old and collected them and still has some of her collection with her right now, I can tell you, he does not have an alcohol problem. He's just somebody that likes just think Shaggy from Scooby-Doo in that sense.
Oh, wow.
You know, not for nothing. We'll finish it off here, this show, talking about NXT. But did you guys not realize, like, back in the day, they had like different Shaggy variants? Like there was a Shaggy in the Josie's and Pussycat on the show. There was a Shaggy version. There was like a Fred. Like they had like these variants. I don't know if you guys remember Jabberjaw, but there was like okay, there we go. I don't know if you guys remember Jabberjaw in the chat, but yes, I'm showing my age here. I was watching all those Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Oh yeah, I was watching all of them. Hong Kong Phooey, Secret Squirrel.
Yeah. Some people remember Secret Squirrel from Secret Squirrel because remember Two Stupid Dogs.
Yep, Two Stupid Dogs. Yep.
There we go. Sorry, we don't throw our rant. But go ahead, Sabrina, Estella. I'm sorry, class.
But that's just cute. But it's wrong.
But it's wrong. Yes.
This match was good. It was very fun. It was very entertaining to see. We get Dion starting off, and he just goes at it. He just starts attacking like no tomorrow. He's like a feral pit bull.
Yeah, it was like it was so great that out the gate, just.
And Dark State held their own for quite a while against this team that seems like they should be able to keep themselves under control for at least a good 15, 20, 30 minutes, but couldn't even keep that under control. Even in commentary, they're like a team that hasn't even been seen that much on TV, that are just former athletes getting in the ring. They shouldn't have this much of an advantage and control over this team, but they do. And I'm just thinking to myself, we saw Dion in that ring a couple times before he decided to turn his ass over to the Dark State.
That is true.
Wait, what did you say?
Dion we seen. Yeah, I'm about to say Dion, we see him multiple times can go. I haven't really seen Cutler James like that. And
Saquon Shugars. I know you can't stand that last name, but it's Saquon. You can at least say that.
Sugar.
It's so weird. Oh, now I caught the reference to that song. Honey. But yeah. Saquon isn't so weird because there's a Saquon Barkley. Why is your name not just Saquon? But
I to the creative team down there about that. Come over here to Orlando, go to the NXT Performance Center, and ask them why they named that man Saquon Shugars.
And this is why I'm having a hard time saying his name, because he actually was doing very good in this entire match. Like, he was amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. I enjoyed the tenacity out the gate of it. I enjoy how, like I say, immediately fly, like just not even like a regular punch, but just jump flying onto them. And I thought about this earlier, but it seems like Javon Evans is getting like the Io Sky treatment when it comes to this triple threat.
Oh, like they're not taking him seriously.
Of course, he's getting the Io Sky treatment, and that sucks. But he wasn't the one that got attacked with one of the whatchamacallit. I'm just looking at this down here. With getting thrown somebody into you, with like what Femi did when he threw Saquon into Trick Williams, essentially, not intentionally, but essentially he did that. And then he gets thrown out, and then once Trick gets in there, he and Oba start fighting, and Javon's like, what are y'all doing? Get your asses together and just focus on the match at hand, which they couldn't do that worth a damn because all they could see was red and fighting each other. And then Javon gets left in the ring all by himself, and he tries to fight them 3-on-1, which we all know how that's going to work with somebody as tiny as my pinky finger going against 3 grown-ass men. We all saw what happened.
They had their way with him.
Springboard triple power bomb.
Yeah.
Is how
they threw that young man. They threw that young man in the air, and he got
This is the second time in a row. This is literally the second. This is the second time in a row that the Javon gets tossed. Worse than.
So they said they could have broken a hole in the ring with how hard they threw him on that.
I mean, look. It's a good use of the word, George. They dominated Javon. They did. I mean, look. You said this is the second week. Javon's not really a heavy dude. Like, I'm pretty sure a gust of wind can blow the young man, and that's no disrespect to the young man. He's a light dude, so I mean, I'm pretty sure they can very much throw him. They're not doing that to Oba.
So he could bounce with the wind.
I see what you did there, Sabrina Estella, and I am once again highly upset that you are going for my title for funniest host of the year. But listen, at this rate, I want you to win. I think you should win. That was fantastic. That was good use of it.
Listen, if I get nominated, it's fine because you know what that means. That title goes to this part of the product over here. But
love it.
After all that insanity ends, we hear the family's music, and everybody thinks it's going to be Tony D coming in to fight them all off or something. No, we get Channing Stacks Lorenzo on the Titantron, challenging Dark State to a fight in the parking lot.
Oh, you know it's serious because it's in the freaking parking lot.
That for next week.
Yep. And we all know what goes on in the NXT parking lot.
That messing with the D'Angelo family has severe consequences.
Oh, please.
There ain't no lake back there in that parking lot, but I will say is they're going to try to make them foremen swim with the fishes.
There is no water back. This is an actual fact. I've been there twice. I know you've been there a few times. Once, Sabrina Estella, there is no water, but they maybe they'll just put them through the concrete so much that there'll be water and some fish right there. Maybe it'll be an alligator. I don't know, because I know there's always like you have some wildlife out there in Florida.
Depends which part of Florida you go to, but yes.
I keep telling the executive consultant when I go down there, I want to go to Croc World or whatever it's called. I want to go there.
Gatorland.
Yes, and then I'm going to bring it home. It's going to be my new pet, and we're going to be walking the streets of LA. Well, not LA. I don't live in LA, but New York.
I'm pretty sure you can't have an alligator in New York. Somebody got arrested up there for having a tiger in their apartment, and they found that there was an alligator in there too.
Oh man, this guy's living my dream. He had a tiger and an alligator. Holy hell! I need to look up this guy.
Yes,
really?
It nearly bit off his arm. So yes, it's
because he's weak. You have to teach these animals who's boss. I would love to wrestle a tiger, but that's for another story. But I thought NXT was fun. There's going to be some really cool stuff for next week and stuff leading into Stand and Deliver. And, not for nothing, Stand and Deliver season, WrestleMania season. Can things always be better? Sure, why not? But I'm excited about Stand and Deliver and see how everything plays out. Because, I mean, we're already getting some of the key matches, and we'll be here next week. We're going to do predictions right here on the show rather than have a solo show. We're just going to do it right here. So great stuff. Damian Jones, what is going on? It's always great to see you. You handsome guy, you. Hi.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. No one's safe in NXT. This is true. I honestly, when the first time I went to the NXT parking lot, the executive consultant held my hand. I had to Like, stop touching me, man. That's how scared he was. So yes, it's very dangerous.
Why is there so many stories of like just EC embarrassing himself at NXT? Like first he tell us about the story of him, me and Jade. Now this is just
he saw her walking.
He did. He saw her walk by and he melted like butter. He said, I said,
And why this one has stories about the executive consultant embarrassing himself? Ammo.
I love being around it, but to be fair, I mean, I was close to doing that too. It's just he beat me to it. I mean, Jay's a pretty girl. I mean, pretty woman. I really want Hank and Tank to win. See, that's what we were talking about, George. Where I said, I think that's the spoiler right there. I feel like this is all to set up Hank and Tank to go at Fraxium. I do want to see what the other teams look like though, because I know that they did announce the teams, but I do want to look at the other teams.
We saw a picture. We saw
sure.
No Quarter Catch Crew, Miles Born into Tavion.
Okay, I don't see them.
We also saw Briggs and Inamura.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like they're teasing a little breakup. I mean, from tonight, I don't even think they're going to be a team much longer. It said it's called. I guess he's calling Hank and Tank Heavy Machinery 2.0. I actually kind of see what you mean by that. I still always get Public Enemy vibes from them, but I do see what you mean by Heavy Machinery 2.0. I do see what you. I see the comparison. But who's the other team? Because we got Hank and Tank. That's the third team. And who's the last team?
There were a couple more. I don't.
Oh, there's a few more. Oh, I think Tariq and what's the other gentleman's name? Yeah, I think they're in there. I don't see any of those guys in there. I see Hank and Tank. I think that's why they're doing the story here about them not knowing themselves and finding themselves, and they're gonna find themselves. They're gonna have the match, and they're probably gonna have a really good match. But if it is them against Fraction, because I just don't see them being the team to defeat Fraction. Fraxium they've held this championship for almost a whole year. And no disrespects to Hank and Tank, I have nothing against them. I just don't think that should be the team to take the titles off after this run, if you ask me. George is saying said if BadGuy if BadGuy Jack says Hank and Tank win it, then I gotta go. Oh, he's actually agreeing, and they send the Cullens in there too. Yeah, I think they're gonna be in there. They're not gonna be taking the pinfall, but they're not winning. I don't see them.
Nah, I don't see them pulling the trigger with the Cullen anytime soon. Honestly,
No, I don't think they will be in there because I don't think I think right now that's kind of a project for them, and they're going to try to protect them, and I can't tell you how far they're going to push them, but I just think that they are going to.
The New Day is not going back to NXT.
They don't need to go back to NXT. They already did that, and they already won the NXT Tag Team Championship belts. They don't need to do it again.
I wouldn't.
Held these belts for 219 days. You can love the New Day. That's fine. We respect that, but it's not going to be them.
And also too, if I could just throw in there, I don't think it would make any sense. I think they should stay on the main roster. I honestly think who's the tag champs? War Machine. I think they should take the titles off of
War Raiders.
War Raiders.
They're going to take it off of them at some point.
Yeah, so I think that's why I wouldn't even think about sending them on NXT. I think you keep your tag teams on NXT and you find that right team to take it off of Fraxium. And it's gotta be an NXT guy. Said get NXT New Day. Oh, he's not even a fan of New Day. I like New Day. I still like New Day.
You want New Day to take the titles off of Fraxium, yet you want them off your TV.
All right. Let's
War Raiders. I think he's saying. Are you saying get both teams off your TV? I don't think he's. Said is coming off like he's not a fan of neither. Listen, I got some pizza waiting for me. So why don't we do some plugs here? Talking about and I'm gonna yell at my cat because he's sleeping on the pillow. Like I bought him a bed, and I guess I'm sleeping on that bed. Let's see what do we got here. Let's Sabrina, Estella. There's always something for everybody. Why don't you give the quick rundown of what we have here on Unpopular Review?
Well, we have the Mike Knox Show at 6 p.m. for the intelligent wrestling fan. Alongside, we have the Rated R Raw review after Monday Night Raw. with the executive consultant Big Daddy Cool and Steaming Willie Beaming. The NXTrio on Tuesdays. All Elite Women review for Dynamite with Sheriff and Cactus Katie. Top fives and/or prediction shows on Thursdays, depending whenever we have them ready. The SmackDown Penitentiary review, Friday Night SmackDown on Saturday with Vic and the Zia Silence, and Collision review on Saturday nights with Matt and Z.
Outstanding work, Sabrina. Fantastic work as always. Let's run this down here. We have stuff on the entertainment side as well. Tomorrow we are going to be doing Daredevil episode 7, so I'll be staying up to watch the latest episode of Daredevil. Fantastic show. Freckles, the Wolfpack guys, what do you guys got going on? Is there any new content?
All right. So right now we're on our Blade review. So now we're doing Blade 3, the last Blade, thank God, because oh God. Y'all pray for me because I'm gonna have to rewatch this movie, and this movie was an abomination to Marvel. But anyway, tune in Thursday night, usual time, every time at 8:00. Also, but next week after that, we're doing something that has never been seen before on Unpopular View Entertainment. Tune in and we'll let you know.
Fantastic stuff. And check out the Federation on Tuesdays. They have some movies going on. I'm not sure exactly what movie it is, but check them out on Tuesdays.
I want to say,
please.
I want to say it was Inglourious Basterds. I was watching and also Mike Knox show is now at 9 o'clock. It's like 9 a.m. on Tuesdays.
Right.
On Tuesdays.
Right.
But,
so go ahead.
I was watching the show. I was watching the show earlier, and I think he mentioned it was Inglourious Basterds because he cannot pronounce Inglorious.
Speaking of Mike Knox, much love to Mike Knox. But speaking of Mike Knox, you got the husband and wife show. They are talking about, I believe it's still, I know it's in Power, right? It's Kane.
Yeah, it's on Raising Kanan, but the time is to be determined.
Okay, thank you. And speaking of Mike Knox is just taking over the entertainment world completely. I need to get everywhere. I know, right? Because here we go. The challenge with Mike Knox. So, Mike Knox, Shay Sawyer, and Cactus K to talk about the challenge. That is right after the challenge go off the air. I want to say that's around like 9 o'clock, 9:30. So please tune in to see these lovely people. And we have some content of our own here. I want to sit here and highlight George because he is hilarious. He said, "I'm surprised Willie has a job." Trust me, we all.
I've been watching Unpopular View ever since it really first started, and I was like, "Wow."
It's impressing us all the time. Matter of fact, I was very impressed when it was 3 weeks in a row he showed up on Raw, and I said, "Oh, he's serious." And shout out to one Willie. Don't do that, Sabrina.
That's horrible. I can't with you.
Come on. We're bad. Okay, Sabrina Stella. Listen, I know you did a silent laugh, but I heard all of that. I want you to know that, darling. Fantastic. I hate that head track. The quote from Dr. Robotnik. Thank you, George. That is fantastic. I don't know who liked that real quick about I'm surprised. Someone screenshot that. Fantastic. I'm going to highlight that. I'm putting that in the chat, actually. That is fucking great.
Oh, my God. You guys are bad.
But Sabrina Stella, you have content. Frecklesensei, you have content. But Sabrina Stella, why don't you we're gentlemen here. Why don't you tell the lovely people watching what you do on your YouTube channel and that lovely growing YouTube channel?
You can follow my YouTube channel, The Unofficial Camera Woman, where I go out throughout Central Florida and occasionally South to record wrestling matches and put them up on the YouTube for the world to see. I did go to a couple shows this past weekend where I got to see not one, not two, not three, but 4 of the WWE ID guys in a tag match. I saw It's Gall, Jackson Drake, Cappuccino Jones, and Jack Hartwheel in a tag match.
That is a great name.
And he is a great talent. I saw him in GCW and NWA first. And I also got to see a returning AJ Francis over on that site. And I bought the very last of his tie-dye shirts.
Yeah, and I'm so mad. I'm a little jealous because I think he had just like once when he was here in Atlanta, once he kind of got done, like he didn't have like shorts in his own sizes. I was just like, oh man. Then I was like, I can't wait till he come back because I'm definitely want a shirt from him. Because that's how that shirt I'm jealous of. I'm jealous of that.
Well, Steelers going to pay $30 for a T-shirt from a wrestler, and I'm fine with that because it is somebody who is on TV, so I'm okay with that.
Meanwhile, Willie reading this chat.
That is a funny picture. I'm laughing, but you guys are so mean.
That is so hilarious. Freckles, what do you got going on, sir?
Oh, villain.
Villain arc over here.
All right, so a couple of things that's going to happen. Specifically this week, I will be having my stream back on Friday night. That's a good Friday night at 6 p.m. and we will be playing in Marvel Rivals. We have a new season, so all you people that keep saying that y'all was Grandmaster, that y'all was Celestial, that y'all was going to be, we don't care no more because it's all getting reset. We're getting Emma Frost as a new playable character. We're getting so many things in development. The whole entire season has taken over, and you will see it here. I know other streamers got lucky and blessed that they got sneak peek and they was playing it a week in advance. Lucky bastards. But normal people like me are going to get it on Friday. Can't wait to see y'all there. It's going to be on my Twitch. Which is the same name, Frecklesensei. Y'all see it all the time. And lastly, we have also, I know I mentioned this before, last time I was here, we have Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. It was postponed. We was going to have Carly Bravo versus AJ Francis down here in Atlanta. It's been postponed to April the 27th. New location, if you're in the Atlanta area, if you know about Fowling Lanes, Bowling Alley, that's where it's going to be at. And you can meet me there. You can meet me there. You can meet one of the sponsors there, which is the Nation of African American Wrestling, the NAW group on Facebook. The best wrestling group. One of the best wrestling Facebook groups. And no, I'm not talking about yet.
There you go. I have an audio podcast. It's called the Big Pop Theory Podcast. We did episode 95 on Sunday. We released it Monday. We're on the road to episode 100. Very proud of it. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and a bunch of other places where I think sometimes you can find like podcasts and stuff like that. But real quick here for Unpopular Review, we have a Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitch. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram. Follow. I mean, what are you doing? You should just follow us. I bet. You know what? I mean, you're not wrong.
I don't know if you can do that on YouTube still, because as far as I've seen before, that got taken down. But we'll see about that.
I do.
There was a time where you weren't allowed to show yourself smoking on YouTube.
I think so many smoking videos on YouTube. I even saw how to roll a blunt video tutorial on YouTube.
If it's okay now, then Willie can have fun doing it then.
I did want to say real quick before we end the stream here, because George is saying I can't wait to see Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer and Jordan Grace in 2K25. Is Jordan Grayson the DLC in there? Because I didn't know that. But I did want to say
I think she is. I know I have the season pass, so I get it anyway.
No, that's fantastic. I just want to say, because I still don't got the game, but the biggest surprise I saw in that game is New Jack being a DLC character. Did not have that on my bingo card. Just wanted to throw it out. Yeah, so I just thought that was actually wild. But that's the show. Follow us on all the social media things. Tune in tomorrow for AEW Dynamite, the review show, All Elite Women. Please check them out. Thank you guys. You guys have been fantastic. And George is confirming they are all three DLC fantastic. You guys have been fantastic. You guys are awesome. Tune in to join us next week. And that's really much the stream. So everyone wave. Everyone say goodbye. Bye. We'll see you guys next week.
Team Booker over Swerve.